Hey guys, Adam here from Tint Academy. Now I'm going to show you how to wet glaze this window behind me. Wet glazing is a anchoring step that we use after you use security film. Now, security film is making a huge push in the last couple of months. Typically, we just used it for commercial and bigger buildings. We started off in Canada doing a lot of weed stores and government buildings. We're getting a lot more requests for it across the residential sector as well with everything that's going on right now. It's a huge upsell where you can charge between $30 and $60 per square foot, depending on the thickness of film that you're using. Now it starts at about 6 mil and goes all the way up to 15 mil. Now this video is not about the mills and the installation. It's all about how to wet glaze and anchor this after you go to install it. Now down below we have a full chart of how to determine what thickness you should use on what kind of property. Now, once we're done our installation of security film, we always want to anchor it to the actual frame. Now, with this film, if you have a burglar or someone that tries to get through the window, we just have the film installed, they will still be able to get through the actual window. As you can see, we have a gap across here. So we're going to anchor it so it's actually right up against that frame. Now, there's two types of anchoring that we can use. We can use a dry or we can use a wet. Dry is we have pre-cut silicone strips that we can apply to the window. Wet, we're actually going to put a silicone base across. Now, it's very important to do this to have a full structural integrity for that window film installation. Now, one note that we want to talk about in this video is that safety and security film is not bulletproof. If somebody comes up and tries to go through this window with it installed with the anchor, they're still going to be able to go through it. If somebody comes through with a hammer, it's just going to prevent them from coming through a lot faster. So this stuff is not indestructible. It does create a great safety measure around your property, around if it's a home, office, or residential. So yeah, it's not indestructible. It's not bulletproof. If you do want bulletproof film or bulletproof glass, you actually have to get the glass installed. There's no film on the market that's going to be completely bulletproof out there right now. So first thing we want to do is that we've already installed the security film. We went about an 8 mil on this window behind me during our training yesterday. So now I want to show you how to wet glaze it and anchor it to the actual frame. Now, important note, you don't want to do this right away. You want to wait about 24 to 48 hours. So if you're on a customer's job and you're installing safety and security film, you need to come back about a day or two later to install or do the anchoring part of it. It needs to be completely dry. You also want to make sure all that slip solution, all that moisture is out between the film and the glass before we do this step. Now, first thing is our prep. So we're just going to take a isopropyl alcohol diluted with distilled water just to pick up any kind of residue, any kind of dust or debris that may be around. So it's the light spray on my towel and I'm light everything completely down on this frame. Now, next step that we're going to do is we're actually going to mask it off so we know exactly where we're going to do our caulking and do our wet glazing. This is an old school trick, but it works really, really well. I'm just going to take a pencil and a black marker. We want to go around a 1/8 of an inch on either side of the frame. So this is going to give me that measure where I know where to lay my tape line down. So I'm going to put this right across here and we're going to measure everything up till we know where to leave that line. Once I did it down, we're actually going to mask this tape out. I like just using a green painted tape. Here's my top line right across. Now we laid our tape down, I'm just going to clean up these corners here so we know exactly where to gloss it out. Now, last but not least, I'm going to do the bottom edge here so don't get any overflow across that bottom edge. Now let's do our guide. So I'm just going to use a down torning 995. I always want to lead it and push it through here. So it comes straight through here, cock it up, and as I come through, more top out. Then I start from the other corner and come this way. But nice and slow, about half speed here. Then I'm gonna come straight up. Now with my trowel, we're just going to smoothen everything out here. Now we see a little bit of runoff here, a little bit of runoff there. That's totally okay. So now I'm going to let it sit and dry for about half hour and pull the tape up and we're going to trim back any kind of overflow that we may have and take a look at how that actually looks on our windowsill here. So let's give it a half hour. We'll come back and move the tape and do our trimming. Now it's been about half hour, so I'm going to alleviate these our guides and let's see how this looks. That is a perfect wet glaze across here. A little extras. I'm just going to wipe that up off the glass here. So now on this dry, it's going to take up 30 minutes more for it to be totally set. Now I want to give it about a good day to totally dry out and cure onto the glass. So if you have any questions, we have the links below. Talk about more security film, the thicknesses, where to use those thicknesses, and how to dry it cure. But remember, wet glazing is a great must do for every safety and security film. Now we're running a little bit of an online course of how to actually do this. It's totally free, and learn how to apply this to your business and learn more about safety and security film. Hope that answered some questions, gave you some feedback, and gave you a couple of tips and skills on how to install wet glazing on your security film.
You ready? Let's go!